What's good, everyone? So we're Nazi with another video on the channel. Welcome back to DMV Sports Zone. And today we got our fourth installment, I believe, of Washington Football Weekly, our weekly live stream on the DMV Sports Zone channel. And today I got three special guests for you guys once again. Got Rico from Street Scores, Corey from On the Warpath, and Tony from Protech Sports. And we're just going to be talking about the Washington football team, anything and everything Washington football. And of course, we'll be previewing the matchup tomorrow between the Washington football team and the Dallas Cowboys. So having said all that, again, thank you guys for being on the channel, being on the live stream. I just want to start off by asking guys, what do you make of Washington's performance last week against the Bengals? And we can start with Rico.
It was I walked into that game expecting us to get the win. And I mean, we played well enough to beat Ryan Finley. I don't think we played well enough to beat Joe Burrow. I think things were looking a little dark until Joe Burrow got hurt. Because I mean, honestly, at halftime, I think they had 9 points. They should have easily have had at least 17. I mean, missed easy field goals, missed opportunities in the red zone with the fumble. There were a couple of missed opportunities in the red zone. So I feel like we were catching some breaks. And then, I mean, but that's how football sometimes play well, just within firing range, and then you end up being the last one to strike and win the game. But I mean, you could just tell that the Bengals looked completely different when Ryan Finley came in. We started blitzing more. We were able to send more pressure because they were just like, I'm pretty sure they can't beat our DBs one-on-one with Ryan Finley throwing things like that. So, I mean, a win is a win. But that was the type of win that still worries me. I'm still a little iffy on our chances of winning games going further this season.
Yeah, that's fair. Corey, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm kind of like on the same mind as Rico was. I was like, yeah, we won, whoop-de-dee, but we beat Ryan Finley in the second half. I think if Joe Burrow finishes that game out, we might be sitting here with our heads down a little bit lower because I think he was getting ready to start cooking. And until we broke him accidentally, it is what it is, though. But I'm glad we got the win. First win against Cincinnati since, 91? So almost 30-some odd years since that happened. I think that we did enough not to mess up the game and not to lose more than just taking it away from them. And y'all know how I am anyway. I'm like overly critical of this team when it comes to stuff like that. I don't like to rest on our laurels, but that's kind of what I thought. We were fortunate to win the game.
Okay. Tony, what do you think about that performance?
Oh, all right. So first of all, I agree with most of Rico's points and Corey's points. First off, second off, why we take our gas? What we take the pedal off the gas for? Ryan Finley in the game, go crazy. Don't take your foot off the gas. Step your foot in their neck. Come on, man. Like, we should put 30 on them boys last week, bro.
Yeah.
30. And we just, it's Ryan Finley. They're not going to do anything. We're going to just play conservative and blah, blah, blah. No! It's not what good teams do. I forgot we're bad. But what good teams do, step on their neck and finish them. And we never did it. But I can agree. If Joe Burrow did not tear his ACL in that game or did not get injured enough to be out for the rest of the game, I think we'd have won still.
Mm-hmm.
But it would have been a struggle. It would have been down to the last possession. Like it's been every daggone week the past few weeks. And we've been struggling, crashing and clawing, trying to win this game. And we could have had our heads down this week. We could have lost that game. Season coming over with. So I do wish Joe Burrow a quick recovery.
For sure. Loved how you ended up at that point. Yeah, Joe Burrow. Hope he has a smooth recovery. I hate to see a young quarterback. I think we all hate to see a young quarterback go down with a substantial injury. And the Bengals look like they found themselves wanting Joe Burrow. So praise up to him, and hopefully he recovers fully. But in terms of my opinion on the performance last week, I pretty much agree with all three of you guys. If Joe Burrow was still in the game, I think it would have been much closer towards the end. And maybe the Bengals could have found a way to pull it out because of the way the offense was moving early on. But the same time, I just think our defense actually stepped up. We usually step up in the second half, but especially so on Sunday. And I think our defense was sort of leading the way. We saw Ronald Darby making one pass deflection after another, the hometown kid stepping up, coming back home and showing out for his people. And appreciated that. And, he's on a short-term contract right now, but maybe we could sign him long-term and keep him here in Washington for a long time. But the entire defense, even Kendall Fuller, after the touchdown that he gave up early in the game, was pretty much locked down throughout the rest of the game. And I know Ryan Finley has a lot to do with that, right? Because he was the one who's throwing the passes and not Burrow. At the same time, though, defense stepped up. Offense played well enough. Alex Smith, minus the one turnover, didn't play too bad. And Tony Gibson, Terry McLaurin, 2 cornerstones showing out. So great to see. But moving off of that performance a little bit, what do you guys think about Alex Smith specifically? Do you guys think he's shown you enough to be a starter? I see John Zaglul, one of my good friends, in the chat, and he's a big Alex Smith supporter. I'm not that much of a supporter of Alex Smith in terms of his on-the-field play, but what do you guys think about his performance so far? Do you think he's shown enough to be the starter for the rest of the season? If not, even further than that, maybe helping a young quarterback next year? What do you guys think?
Who wants?
So me personally, I think Alex Smith probably is the better quarterback to throw out there if you're trying to win a division. Me, I'm in the boat of we might as well see what Dwayne Haskins can do so we can know for sure if we need to move on from him. Because right now his trade value is nil. Like after you bench a quarterback, it doesn't matter how poor you perform on the field, just off the fact that you benched them. There's no trade value for him. I think teams just gonna wait for us to end up releasing them or something. So if you throw him out there these last few games and see what he can do, whether he's really bad or hopefully he plays better, then you'll know what his trade value is, what his trade market probably is. So I'm in that boat. I feel like Alex Smith is definitely the better quarterback to play to win games this season, though. And I definitely am not a fan of Alex Smith being our starting quarterback next year. Y'all already know I'm top QB in the draft, guys. Yeah. So, but Alex Smith is pretty solid. But my problem is with how, like, if you look in the past, you would think, okay, Alex Smith is the type of quarterback you can win a Super Bowl with. But quarterbacks are only getting better and better. The average quarterback is at a higher degree now if you're considering like from 1 to 32 what an average quarterback actually is. It's better than what an average quarterback was 5 years ago. I mean, it seems like almost everybody has a good, relatively mobile quarterback. And it seems like you just need better quarterback play to compete at this point. Because now, I mean, if you want to make it to the Super Bowl this year, you'll have to probably go and beat Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees if he comes back healthy, and like a Kyler Murray or maybe a Russell Wilson. And that's just to get to the Super Bowl. Then on the other side, you're going to have to beat the Steelers who are undefeated or Pat Mahomes. Like and then if your quarterback is not as good or better than those other teams, then you're expecting the rest of your team to be better than them in certain position groups. You're expecting your defensive line to be way better than their offensive line. Our offensive line to be way better than their defensive line. Things like that. So that's why I feel like you can make up for a lot of those issues our team has, especially like Scott Turner's play calling, with better quarterback play. And I like Alex Smith, love him. Great comeback story, but I need more out of my quarterback if we're going to start winning Super Bowls. And ultimately, that's all I care about. Winning the playoffs, winning the division doesn't mean much to me. I need Super Bowls.
Yeah. I like that mentality. Tony, what do you think about Alex Smith?
Alex Smith, in my opinion, Alex Smith to me is he's a bottom line starter. I'm afraid that he's a Mendoza line quarterback. That's who Alex Smith is, a middle of the road starter. Nothing special. He's not going to really do nothing spectacular. He's going to be solid every week. He's not going to lose you the game, besides when he comes in relief. But as a starter, he's not going to lose you the game. He's not going to win you the game either. Does that make sense? Yeah. I actually did not mind Alex Smith being a starter for one more season if we win this division. That's the if. If they win the NFC East and host a playoff game, then maybe. That's a maybe now. I'm no certainty, but I'm on Rico. Me and Rico are on the same page here. I'd rather go draft the quarterback in the first round. Clear the decks for him. Just clear the decks. Kyle Allen, kick rocks. Dwayne, kick rocks. Alex, hey, thank you, bro. You take this $10.8 million cap hit. Say the rest of the money. You can get out of here. Clear the decks. Hey, Kyle Trash, Zach Wilson, don't know who. You welcome. We'll find a German backup that we know is not going to be any threat to you, and we're going to nurture you. That's it. That's all I want at this point. Because Rivera and Haskins are not seeing eye to eye. I don't care what Rivera's saying in the media. I don't give a bleep, an F word. I'm not gonna curse on your stream. I don't care. He's lying to me. I think he's lying to me. They're not seeing eye to eye. He got benched for a reason, obviously.
Yeah.
So
I think Rivera always wanted to bench him. It just took a couple of bad performances.
It was the same thing with Chicago with Trubisky. Matt Nagy just want a reason to bench him. He was just waiting for you to F up so you can get benched. Exactly what Ron Rivera did with Dwayne. He was waiting for him to F up so you can get benched. So he's not Dwayne's not his guy. So I want Ron to get his guy. Simply put, I want Ron to get his guy. And if Ron thinks Alex Smith's the guy, Ron, more power to you. I think you lost your mind, but more power to you. But yeah, I think Alex Smith, if we win a division, maybe, but nah, I'd rather just draft a quarterback. Honestly.
Last but not least, Corey, thoughts on Alex Smith?
Well, I'm gonna have to disagree with my two brothers over here. This franchise has proven time and time again we cannot develop a quarterback. We've proven that we can't. And the fan base has proven that we don't have the patience for it. So I think you need to go ahead, draft the lineman, go get one of these free agent quarterbacks. And to answer the original question, I don't think Alex Smith is the future here. I've never thought that from the time he was here in 2018. So I think it's time to move on. Like I said, I'm about winning football games, not writing Lifetime movies, because they don't win championships at the end of the day. We've seen that Alex Smith's best days are when he's not the best player on the team. And if the quarterback position is the most important position in all of football, that doesn't make sense to me. Right. And I don't see how that makes sense. I don't see how that translates. I like Alex Smith a lot. I think he's a good dude. It was kind of telling. You brought up Ron Rivera, Tony, and he said if Chase Young wasn't there at 2 and Cincinnati had taken Chase Young, they were taking Joe Burrow. That's all I need to know. That's all I need to know. It's all a charade. It was all a charade with Dwayne Haskins. Pretty much they had him and Steiner had a gentleman's agreement. And I don't know this, but if you read in between the lines, they had a gentleman's agreement. I'll give him 4 games, right? So, you gave him a quarter of the season to see what he can do. Didn't work. Kyle Allen, not as bad, but they were about the same, right? Because they won 1 game in 4 starts. Same thing. Now you got Alex Smith back, and you're writing this Lifetime movie coming to CBS next year. I think Alex Smith is in the future, but I think you need to go out, maybe get one of these free agent quarterbacks. Like I said, if you can go get number 4 from Dallas, and throw those monies that you were going to throw at Amari Cooper and get Dak. I see you, Nazi. I know you you grit your teeth.
Yeah.
Hey, man, I say in a perfect world, that ain't going to happen. So get a quarterback in the second round if you have to, or trade. Go down to Houston. Ask, what do we need to give for Deshaun Watson? Just reach out a feeler. Yeah, exactly.
Well, I mean, they don't have O'Brien anymore, so I don't know if we can just easily grab Deshaun Watson.
Hey, man, I don't know. If they want the farm, I say give it to them. If we can give them the farm, I say you want 3 first rounders? You want our next 3 first rounders? Go ahead. We'll give them to you.
Okay.
It's sales season here in the nation's capital, man.
Hey, Corey, I got one question for you about this situation, right?
Go ahead.
I don't want to interrupt Natty, but
no
good question. So, let's just say we inquire to the Texans, right?
Mm-hmm.
I want 3 ones. I need your 2 this year, your 2 next year. I need your 3 this year, next year, the year after that. You doing it?
Yeah. Look at the Rams. Look what the Rams are doing. How many times did Sean McVay drafted in the first round? How many times did Sean McVay drafted in the first round?
Barely.
Exactly. Come on now. Don't get me preaching up here. Now, I'm telling you.
Out of draft capital, though.
Hey, man. That's all.
That's what you said.
Hey, man. You can't replace that leadership, bro.
I'll say this, though.
Yeah.
Corey.
Oh, sorry.
No. I was just gonna say this with Deshaun Watson. I would probably take that deal if Deshaun Watson was like showing you what he's showing now, but was like on the second year of his rookie contract. So he had a couple more years of him being on that contract. But now with the mega contract that I believe he just signed last offseason, if not like before that, that's a lot of money and a lot of draft capital tied up with Watson. So I don't know.
That's what you got. What's that guy from Carolina that we got? The cap strategist who took Eric Schaefer's job.
Yeah.
Rob Rogers. That's what he's supposed to do. He the money man. He got to make it. He got to cook them books so we can fit him on the payroll. I'm telling you, he can do it.
What did Louis
We're
say?
not a quarterback away.
Hit the money dance. Hit the money dance.
Yeah.
Hit the money dance.
But I know what you're saying, Nati. We're more than a quarterback away. I agree with you. But like I said, if this is a perfect world, that's what I'm probably doing.
Yeah, the Bears could probably do that. I know that would Chicago would be ecstatic over that. But
the who?
The Bears.
The Bears.
They got a team in Chicago still.
Yeah, they do.
The Chokers.
Not too bad.
The Chicago Chokers.
I'm a troll.
This is what they do. The chokehold.
I'm not gonna say anything about the team that I know a lot of my friends root for, but yeah, their quarterback situation's a little.
They call it the Lightfoot stranglehold.
Yeah.
Laura got him.
Again, I'm not gonna go too far, but I get that. I do want to say though, on like a more serious note, I saw it in the chat and like confirmed it, but like a quick search online. But the Cowboys strength and conditioning coach that had a medical emergency, I believe, a couple of days ago, actually died. So rest in peace to the coach. And I know Brandon Williams is in the chat. He's actually a Cowboys fan, so I know like he is especially like hurting over this. So yeah, rest in peace. And, you know, we're playing the Cowboys this week. We're playing them tomorrow. But biases aside, that's a really tragic loss. So rest in peace once again. But I do want to give my quick response to the whole Alex Smith stuff. I kind of have an opinion that's a mix of all three of yours. I think Alex Smith should not be the quarterback for the foreseeable future, like quarterback one for the Washington football team. But I do think that if we do draft a quarterback early on in the 2021 draft, having Alex Smith there, having that veteran leadership, maybe having a sort of Miami Dolphins kind of situation, you know, taking Tua's benching out of the equation, but having a Ryan Fitzpatrick sort of quarterback, right, to give you a couple of spot starts, and then ultimately having that young quarterback get past the baton and take the reins eventually. I think that's sort of the smart play. We'll talk about quarterbacks that we most like out of the drafts a little bit later in the stream, but I think, you know, that's probably the smartest thing to do right now. I think Dwayne Haskins' days in DC are pretty much over with, unless Smith just absolutely is trash the next couple games. I think Dwayne Haskins won't start another game for us this year. And yeah, I think it's pretty much over for him. I know I was a little late in terms of like saying that it was over for him, but I'm all the way there at this point. So yeah, but moving on from like quarterback news, because we do have some studs on this roster that I do want to talk about, and I want to talk about it through the whole Pro Bowl voting process that has opened up the last couple of days. And I was just wondering, who do you guys think are bona fide Pro Bowlers on the team thus far? And do you think there are any sort of all-pro? This is sort of a stretch, but any all-pro considerations that can be put for any sort of players on this team? What do you guys think?
I guess I can go first. I feel like Brandon Sheriff, it's a popularity contest, even though I don't feel like he's even played at a Pro Bowl level. He didn't last year and still made it. Yeah. I think he'll make it this year. It just seems like they just go off of familiar names. Sometimes it just weighs more. And then, of course, Terry McLaurin. He's fourth, I believe, in the league in receiving yardage right now. And I think with us playing Thursday, he has the opportunity to become the first 1,000-yard receiver this season. If he gets the ball enough. So I think he definitely should be a Pro Bowler. I mean, we can argue all pro, but again, I think it's like it's not fully seniority, but it is hard to dethrone the other guys. Like it's going to be hard for Terry to dethrone like a D-Hop or those other guys out there that like, I mean, even if he does play better, he looks better statistically. It's just hard for him to dethrone those guys. It just seems like it's always some type of seniority and slight popularity contest when it comes to that. So I feel like Terry McLaurin deserves to be a Pro Bowler. But like Brandon Sheriff may end up being a Pro Bowler, even though he doesn't deserve it necessarily. And maybe Montez Sweat, maybe not very sure about it.
He was racking up the sacks early, but now it's sort of
then he just kind of slowed down a little. I feel like this would have been Matt Ioannidis' year too if he was able to stay healthy. Yeah. Other than that, I'm not really sure. I mean, a nice all-pro rookie team. Maybe Antonio Gibson makes it, but that's really it. Kendall Fuller had a first 5 weeks. I would have been like, oh yeah, definitively easy would have made the Pro Bowl, but until this past week, he had a bad past few weeks. But maybe that was enough to get him in. But that's all I can think of.
Tony,
I'm going to give you 3 players. Honestly, man, this roster is kind of devoid of talent. I'll be honest. First of all, Terry McLaurin should be a damn All-Pro. First of all, he should be a darn All-Pro off jump. This man has been playing out of his mind. Inconsistent quarterback play, offensive line's been inconsistent. This team play calling is trash every other week, but yet this man is balling out of control. So number 1 is Terry McLaurin. Number 2, Montez Sweat. I know he's kind of slowed down with the sacks, but he's been great in the run game, even though he hasn't been getting the sack totals. And I think he's been getting chipped more. I think they doubling him and Chase. It looks like. It's like neither one of them getting one-on-ones anymore. So I can't really blame Montez to a certain extent because neither one of them get him and Chase are not getting not getting one-on-ones anymore. Either they chip in the back or they put in both guards and both tackles and both of them. Say, hey, Jonathan Allen and Deron Payne, you got to beat me. So I'm not letting these two beat me. So, but he had a solid season so far. And Brandon Sheriff, like Rico said, because it's a popularity contest at the end of the day, but Brandon has played some Pro Bowl-like games. He hasn't been consistent. That's my problem. And he got hurt, too. So, that's pretty much about it for you, honestly. And a Kendall Fuller, because he wrapped up the picks early, and he might get 1 or 2 before the end of the season because we're playing bum quarterbacks yet. Yeah. That's my 4 guys that I think will make the Pro Bowl. And Terry McLaurin should be darn near All-Pro. He's been playing out of his mind. So,
okay. Corey, do you agree with Tony's picks?
I'm not a big Sheriff fan just because he stays hurt all the time, but I'm not going to deny what he means to the team. Mm-hmm. Y'all, 76 deserves his spot. He has played some of the best ball of his career. Morgan, I give him a hard time all the time. He went to UVA. He's from Richmond. He's a local kid. So I'm going to give him a hard time, but you cannot deny what this kid has done. He went on, he flipped. They were like, hey, our guys that are playing left sucks. Sharp sucks. You got to go out there and play left tackle, and did a damn good job at it too. Excuse me. And then number 5, Tress, the special teams player of the week. I mean, that brother be pinning. He is pinning me. He's always doing. He's pinning these dudes deep. 3 out of his 5 punts were in the inside the 20 last week. So he keeps on doing that. Terry, he deserves his right as well. Into this, I would have said Kendall about 2 weeks ago, but he's kind of cooled off as of late. If Ronald Darby can start getting the picks, though, y'all. I don't know, man. Ronald Darby, he might be one of them brothers too that can go up there and maybe steal a Pro Bowl. And as far as they're going back with people getting hurt and everything like that, he could be on the Pro Bowl listing this year. And like y'all said, Terrence, him as I may have said that already, but 17, he's got to be up there, no doubt about it. In that listing, because he is now. I don't know if he's an All-Pro, but because I mean, you got him going up against D-Hop, and that's still a popularity contest. So old old Incredible Hulk himself from Wakanda, DK Metcalf. You know that brother, he on that vibranium.
All the
So
popularity.
I don't, he gonna be up there first. So, but yeah, man, I think those cats would be my Pro Bowl picks right now. Montez got to do a little bit more, and Chase got to do a little bit more before I consider them.
Okay. No, all those picks are great. Morgan Moses is sort of like the under the radar sort of guy, right? That should probably get Pro Bowl consideration, but because of the fact that he's not like super popular, he probably won't. But my 4 guys right now, I mean, Terry McLaurin, first and foremost. If this guy is not a Pro Bowler, then I don't even know what to say. I'll probably be left speechless. This guy has earned it. He, quarterback after one quarterback after another, like they're all not great quarterbacks, and he still ends up producing. And you just need to have that sort of player in the Pro Bowl. And I think he's a perennial Pro Bowler. And I think Tony, though, I think he's probably a year away from possibly being an All-Pro. I know he has the stats right now. I know he has the yards. Touchdowns aren't there. Should probably be there by the end of the year. But I just think in terms of his overall popularity, he needs to achieve that first, and then ultimately achieve, years of that sort of high performance, right? Because we see that with Hopkins, we see that with the Julio Joneses of the world, we see that with the Michael Thomases, usually, right, minus this year. So that's how I feel about Terry in terms of his All-Pro consideration right now. Brandon Sheriff is actually someone who I think should be a Pro Bowler as well. One, because he has been a solid guard for us for whenever he's played this year and really his entire Washington football / Redskins career. And we saw the offensive line before Brandon Sheriff came back from that injury. We saw how putrid it was. And then all of a sudden, I know Morgan Moses has a lot to do with it, but all of a sudden when Sheriff came back, the offensive line was actually pretty solid and has been pretty solid the last few weeks. I know we haven't played great defenses, but they have been pretty solid. And a big part of that is Brandon Sheriff and Morgan Moses, of course. But Sheriff has that advantage of being a perennial All-Pro Bowler as of yet. And then Kendall Fuller, I don't know if I have as a solid Pro Bowler at this point, but if he does rack up maybe 1 or 2 more picks, he'll be at 5 or 6. And I know all those people who are voting for Pro Bowlers are probably going to look at that pick count and think, oh, this guy is definitely a Pro Bowler. So if he does rack up a couple more picks, I think Kendall Fuller might actually lock down a Pro Bowl spot. Right now, it's sort of 50-50. But the last person, as Corey mentioned, is Tress Way. He's becoming a perennial Pro Bowler, and he deserves to make it into Pro Bowl this year. How many kicks has he made inside the opponent's 20-yard line? And it's just insane, and I'm just glad to have him. He was arguably our best player last year, right? Which is kind of sad to say because it shows how little talent that we had last year. But he's really been showing out this year as well.
Yeah, Tressway should have been making the Pro Bowl even sooner than last year. Should not have been his first time. It's just been
he got
I
screwed.
feel so sorry for him. Yeah. It's just the team he's on. That's literally it.
I mean, and he's been the best punter in football since like 2016. Like he even threw a first down in the Giants game on 4th down on a big punt. Like this man, he should have been a Pro Bowler 4 years ago. Like, come on.
Yeah.
I would try to. I didn't mention Tress because Tress was like obligatory. Like, I that was kind of like, all right, look, that's already a thing. Like I'm not have to mention Tress.
Punters are people too, Tony. Punters are people too, Tony. You got to remember, you got to give them his just dessert. They people too.
Right? Oh, you're right, big dog. You're right. No doubt. No doubt.
Punters and kickers, both.
That's right. They're people.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
And we've clearly seen they matter with how Hopkins.
Yeah.
The game. We've seen how much they matter.
I'm gonna choke him, bro. That's it. He ain't choke. That's it.
I've never been high
on him. I'm finding him. That's it. I'm choking him.
Yeah. But I do sort of want to move on a little bit to another sort of stud that we have on our team, Antonio Gibson. I was just wondering, what do you guys think about his performance in the season so far, and also how bright of a future does he have? What do you think his ceiling is like? We'll start with Tony this time around.
Antonio Gibson is a bleeping dog. He's an MFing dog. Behemoth. This man is ridiculous. This man does everything. Catches the ball, he runs the ball well, he does everything. The pass pro is even solid. It's not the worst thing in the world. He does everything well or great. This kid is incredible. 8 rushing touchdowns in a rookie season, incredible. Was he second in rookie yards? He might lead the league. He might lead rookies. Besides, I know he's behind Clyde Was-Helaire. My fault. But he's second in rookie yardage. He leads in rushing touchdowns. He catches ball in the backfield, catches screens. He does everything. And I think his future is extremely bright. Like he reminds me of a much more quicker Le'Veon Bell. He's not as patient as Le'Veon, but he's much quicker than Le'Veon. And he's gonna be special.
Bell in his prime?
He's gonna be special. He's gonna be special. I honestly think Antonio Gibson gonna be special back. I think he's gonna get to that point where he's gonna be a 3-down back, and we don't need J.D. McKissic no more. But I like it in the 1-2 punch right now, but I think that Gibson's gonna snatch everything. Give me all the touches. Give me everything. I'm the man. Give me the ball. Like they need to give him that reign. He has the talent. He has the potential. Give him the ball, man. He's a dog. That's it.
Okay.
Whoever's next, go.
Rigo?
Yeah, I love Antonio Gibson. It was up until last week his pass protection hasn't been there. That's why we take him out on third downs. They put in J.D. McKissic. But last week against the Bengals, he finally took a step forward in pass protection, which I was really excited about. That's the thing I've been watching him the most about, because that's the reason we take him off the field on third downs. And with him being off the field on third downs, it limits his impact in a game. But once his pass protection becomes more consistent, once his vision gets better, he's going to be electric. I think he's going to be one of the best running backs in the league. I think he'll easily be top 7. Because, I mean, right now he's so athletic. He's so athletically gifted. I mean, he ran I think Christian McCaffrey ran a 4.49. Antonio Gibson's way heavier, taller, ran a 4.39. Like you can't find that athleticism all of the time. And then the fact that he's a dual threat with him being more of a receiver in college, him being able to run routes and catch really well. But I mean, if the vision improves, the patience improves, he's going to be elite. Because I mean, right now his vision isn't great. But like his athleticism bails him out. There'll be a right hole. There'll be a sort of right hole. He'll take the sort of right hole and make a big play out of it. And we're like, yeah, had a really good play, like a nice 10-yard run. But if he were to take the other hole, it'd probably be a touchdown for like a 50-yard run. So sometimes his athleticism bails him out. I feel like once his vision is there, and again, that's just going to take time. He didn't play much running back in college. I think he's going to be one of the best running backs in the league. I think he's going to be a perennial Pro Bowler at least. I love him. My from Memphis, he helped me. Thank you, Eric. I mean, you're married for us raising them and giving it to y'all. Antonio Gibson's from Memphis, I believe, or something. We went to Memphis. So I got to hear from him every week. I'm glad, but my friend is always like as if like Antonio Gibson is the reason we won every game this season. But I'll take it. I'll take it. I love Antonio Gibson. His future's very bright. And again, that friend is a Cowboys fan. He even acknowledges the fact that Antonio Gibson is going to be something special. So even when your biggest haters acknowledge a player on your team's greatness, you know that you have something special in your hands. Terry McLaurin and Antonio Gibson are definitely the future of this franchise on offense.
I agree. But before I get into my thoughts, Corey, what do you think?
Ooh, that Dubs Gibson, man. Shout out to Dubs family. That's his boy right there. Bro, I was excited for this cat as a role player. Like, I thought he's going to be like, kind of this slash guy. I didn't know he had this straight on. I looked at this. I thought it was crazy. He is about the same height and the same weight Adrian Peterson is. He's heavier than Dalvin Cook. I think I can even argue that he looks a little bit faster than Dalvin Cook at times. I think his thing is, though, he doesn't know how to finish yet. It's just like, I'm like, okay, Gibson, okay, Tone, okay. Like and then he's just like, okay, I'm done with the run. I need to see a little bit more, more of the finish, and he needs to become a little bit more polished. But he is a threat. I think Washington is in the middle of creating their own little triplet squad, like that team down there with that ugly, dirty star did. And those guys was overrated. 2 of the 3 were. I'm not throwing shade, though. With Terry McLaurin and Antonio Gibson, it's like, how you going to defend? You want to get drowned or you want to get burnt? We don't know yet. I mean, I have been impressed with this young man, and I really do think that Scott Turner is trying to figure out a way to cerebrally hemorrhage this guy down people's throats every week with that cerebral offense. And he has been great. And I mean, I'm looking forward to this guy. He will be a Pro Bowler, if not this year, if he stays healthy. Like you said, Le'Veon Bell, great assessment, great similarities right there. I don't think that's high praise enough for him, but he's getting there. I'd say CMC too. At this point, I thought he might be a baby CMC, but he could be similar to it.
Okay. I do want to shout out all the people in the chat. King Sean, of course. Shineization. Wanted to shout you out as well. Roger Smith, he got sports. He was on the stream last week. Brigantine Gold fan all day. He was on as well. Brandon Williams. Thank you guys for joining the chat and the support. I will just say I'm going to try to make this short because I want to get into the Washington versus Dallas matchup. But Corey and Tony, you guys especially know how I felt about Antonio Gibson in the summer and the comparisons that I was making. The one comparison, I think Le'Veon Bell comparison is pretty apt. Although I don't know if Gibson has the patience yet, like as a runner, and we'll see if he develops that. But I think the better comparison, I was literally calling him this guy over the summer was Alvin Kamara. You know, in the college, they didn't get many reps, right? Both of them as running backs, and Alvin Kamara in general, right? But they were super productive with their reps. They were scoring touchdowns, making crazy play after crazy play. They were both drafted at the end of the early to middle third round. They both have super good speed. I believe Gibson's actually faster though. And I thought that was a pretty apt comparison. And they both are smooth runners. And Alvin Kamara doesn't have. I know he's a great running back, but when you sit down and watch Saints games and stuff from previous years, less so this year, he doesn't have the greatest vision in the world, but he just makes super good plays after another and does know how to finish, which is something that Corey mentioned that Antonio Gibson is still learning how to do. But I think that's the apt comparison. I think Gibson is might become that Kamara for us. I really believe that he's a legit running back. I don't know why we keep trotting out Peyton Barber out there and taking snaps away from Gibson. This happens every single week. I feel like I mention this every single stream, but it is what it is. And we need to really stop that. And McKissick, I think he isn't too shabby either. Like, I believe early in the season, he was probably our better back, actually, until Tony Gibson has sort of come on the last couple of games. So I do like that duo there, like Tony mentioned. And I think it's going to be a good duo for us for the remainder of the season. But I think Antonio Gibson is just going to be the guy, for the foreseeable future.
Now we just need the quarterback.
Yeah.
So we need
we need a quarterback every year, but yeah. Like I said though, I do want to get into the matchup tomorrow, the Thanksgiving matchup. I got my RJ3 shirt on to just for the good memories of that Thanksgiving game in 2012 that we always see highlights from on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram. And I don't know if our offense is going to put out that sort of performance tomorrow, but I'm looking forward to a great game. And I was wondering, what do you guys think are the key matchups in the game, and what players should us Washington football fans and even Cowboys fans really look out for in the matchup? And we'll start with Corey this time around.
So I think you got to look at Antonio Gibson against this run defense. Now, y'all know, everybody knows a Cowboys fan. It's like a crackhead in the family. They're delusional. They thought that they said, "Oh, well, our running defense is getting real good." They think that this rushing defense is getting better because they held Pittsburgh to 46 yards on the ground. Cincinnati held them to 44 in a 26-point blowout. So y'all can go to sleep with that. I'm looking at numbers where you gave up 300 yards, 200 and some yards, 150, giving up 150 all-purpose yards to Minnesota. So I think Antonio Gibson, he had his 100-yard game, who was against Dallas. I think they need to take advantage of that. Now, the caveat is you have to avoid these safeties. They have highly rated safeties by Pro Football Focus. Donovan Wilson from who had 2 key fumbles that one against Dalvin Cook. So you got to watch out for those guys. And then offensively as well, I think Terry McLaurin going up against whatever bum they find at cornerback on the street all day.
They have some solid corners that have been stepping up. They have some solid corners that have been stepping up the last couple of weeks.
Man, I had solid bowel movements, but I wouldn't get them to cover somebody on the offense side of the ball. But just saying, on defense for us, I think that we've got to, we've got to pin back, right? Our corners, I think, can match up with their skill position, CD and Antonio, not Antonio, but Amari and Gallup. I think they can match up well with them. And maybe if we put Fab out there again, I know it was late in the game, give him some reps out there, see what he can do, because it's a trying, and the linebackers are going to pin back and take down Zeke and all that good stuff. But those are my matchups I'm looking at right there.
Okay. And do you have a winner for the matchup?
A winner for the whole game? Is that what you said? I said this last week and it seemed to work. I'm going to say 30-24. The team with the most points is going to win. That's what I said. And hey, it worked out for me. So,
okay.
Hey, it worked out for me.
Rico, what do you think about the overall matchup and some key battles that we should look out for?
Yes, so I agree with everything Corey said. I think that Antonio Gibson should have a better game, and I agree that he's only getting better and better with each game. And like I said earlier, the more he learns how to pass protect more consistently, the more he's going to get on the field, which will allow him to be more productive in the running game and passing game. So I definitely think Antonio Gibson's going to have a big game. My match personally is how our corners and Troy Apke and all of them do against the Cowboys receivers. Because that's the big matchup. We can run it down their throats, put up points all day. But if Troy Apke can't even understand basic cover 4 concepts, that one play where Ronald Darby had the great pass breakup in the end zone where he went like this, that was what Apke was supposed to do. Ronald Darby was supposed to dump the receiver off and then go cover somebody else. But then he looked and saw Troy Apke just going the wrong way and then had to hurry up and sprinting to make the play. I mean, it's like just mentally Troy Apke's just not there at all. And we just have to Ken Fuller, Jimmy Moreland, and Ronald Darby can hold it down at the corner spots because they have no help on the back end. Don't expect it. Don't expect. Play as if you just don't have it. It would be great if it shows up every now and then, but don't expect Troy Apke to have your back every now. That's my biggest matchup. Yeah, that's my biggest matchup right there. And I feel like we should win this game. I don't think it's going to be as much of a domination as the first time we played them. But I do feel like we are the better team easily. I don't even necessarily think it's close, but I think the score will be close, but I think our teams are much further apart than the score will end up being. I think we do end up winning.
Okay. Before Tony goes, I know we're going to give Tony his full space to talk about the matchup, but I do want to mention, though, I think this was a point that Corey mentioned yesterday on his stream, if not like on a prior stream. It was a really good point, but we all don't like Troy Apke, right? We call him Trash Key for a reason and stuff. But at the same time, during that game last week, he was the big reason why Chase Young did end up getting that fumble on the goal line because Apke took the right angle, like Corey mentioned, and that's what really allowed Chase Young to sort of put his full body weight into Burrow and force that fumble. So I do want to say good play there, but
there you go.
Otherwise, it's just terrible. But go ahead, Tony.
Yeah.
First off,
I'm glad you said. I'm definitely glad you said that. We do need to give him his credit when he finally does something right. Yeah, that's a good point.
Agreed. First off, Cowboy fans, as Steve Name was saying, stay off the weed. They're not good. Not trash. How what you doing? I want one game. Like, oh my God, we make the playoff. Da-da-da. Shut up. All right, but let's get to the point at hand here. I think my key matchup of the game, the trenches, man. You win in the trenches, first off. Our defensive line versus their offensive line and vice versa. And those are the number one and number two matchups in this game. Can we get to Andy Dalton? Can we stop the run? Can we establish the run so we can open up play action and make it easy for Alex Smith? So you want to throw 55 times like you think it's the daggone Lions. That's the number one. That's my number one matchup in this game. Like, can we get to the quarterback? Can we smack Dalton around like we did the first time? And can we keep Alex Smith upright? We kept Kyle Allen pretty much upright the whole game, but DeMarcus Lawrence seemed like he just got a resurrection of some sorts. Cause I did my Fix This Franchise video on DeMarcus Lawrence and the Cowboys. And I said they need to trade him. Next thing you know, he just wakes up like, sack time. Let me get some sacks. Let me go crazy. I'm like, where did this come from? Where did this come from? I want you to stay asleep. Go away. No. Damn you. Go away. Excuse me. Go away. So I just want David Sharp to please, David Sharp Momo, please keep Alex Smith upright. I beg of you. And Chase and Montez and you two go get Andy Dalton. Okay, that's all I need to ask for. I think we win this game. I saw about this last night. I think we win 27-20. I agree with Rico. I think the score will indicate how far our teams are. I think the Cowboys are more talented. I will admit that off jump. I think we're a much more cohesive team. That's when the difference. They're not cohesive. Like they had one good game in like 8 weeks, and we've been. The records are the same, but we've played much more consistent football than that. Yeah. So I think we win this game. 27. They might score a late touchdown, late to cut between one possession, but I think it's not going to be dominant. But it's going to be it's going to be enough of a gap. You see with a better football team. So.
Okay. I think in terms of some key matchups, I think first and foremost for the Cowboys, it would be Terry McLaurin versus that entire Cowboys secondary, because if they can't contain McLaurin, man, we have a very good chance of winning. McLaurin is just a beast. And I know he's sort of matchup proof at this point, but like the Cowboys can sort of maybe contain him to 80 yards on like 6 catches, maybe prevent him from getting a touchdown. That would give Dallas a really good chance of winning this game. And he's probably going to be matched up against Jordan Lewis or Anthony Brown because of the fact that Trevon Diggs is no longer there. So we'll see if they can contain Scary Terry or Scaren's Terrence, but we'll see about that. Another matchup, much like the first matchup between Washington and Dallas this year, will be Antonio Gibson versus the Cowboys front seven. I think Antonio Gibson has a very good chance of going off once again. Like we all mentioned, he's a very solid back. Maybe he needs to improve a little bit on his vision, but has sort of been getting better every single week. And he's playing against the Cowboys defense that, while improved over the last couple of weeks, is not an elite defense by any means, and still can be run up on by opposing running backs. And Gibson, I think, is going to have a good game. Maybe even get a couple of tutties. We'll see. But I think he's in for a good matchup this week. And then we got to talk about the Cowboys receiver trio. I know that was already mentioned a little bit, but I mean, they've been stepping up the last few weeks, and especially CeeDee Lamb is someone who I'm especially worried about because Jimmy Moreland might be matched up on him most of the game. And I know Moreland is progressing, right? He's progressing very nicely, and he has locked down that slot cornerback position for us this year. But at the same time, he isn't an elite cornerback in the slot, so a little worried there in seeing CeeDee Lamb go off. And Andy Dalton has sort of given the Cowboys kind of a boost from last week and their win. We'll see. But I think the most important matchup, and I forgot who mentioned this a little bit, but I think this is bar none the most important matchup is Zeke versus our defense. If we can contain Zeke, then we have a very good chance of winning. Last week, the Vikings did not do that, and that's what really lost them the game. But if we do that, very good chance of winning. I've been going back and forth with this the last couple of days in terms of whether the Cowboys might win or Washington might win. My expectations are low for this team. I can't really ever expect to win because this team always makes you have a letdown and stuff. But you know what? It's Thanksgiving. Might as well just go with Washington winning 24-21 in a very close matchup. I can just as easily see the Cowboys winning in a close matchup, but I'll just say Washington with Gibson and McLaurin might be the difference here. And moving on a little bit from the matchup and more so to the divisional
I
race.
want to talk one more thing about the game.
Oh, go ahead.
I agree with all I would say, but there's one more thing I wanted to point out. And that's I want to say yesterday. The reason why they won last week, we call it the Dallas Cowgirls. The Vikings do not have a pass rush. That's going to change this week. We're not the Minnesota Vikings who can't rush the quarterback. It's going to be a different result this week. I think that's the difference. When teams play the Cowboys right now with their mischief offensive line and teams can't rush the passer, they ain't going to have success because he's going to sit there all day. When he can't sit there all day, just like Alex Smith, he makes mistakes. Just wanted to point that out.
Hey, not one point to that, and I'll say this: I might make friends with Cowboys Nation, so that's bad, but I'm not trying to say that. Y'all, Zach Martin can play any spot on that line though, too. Now, and he's right, and he's at the right tackle spot. That terrifies me more than anything because we've already talked about. I don't think you need somebody to triple team Chase coming off that side. If that's the case, then because of Zach Martin, because of who he is.
Yeah.
I thought, well, he's a guard, he can't play it, but he did really good for him. And so I got to give him props on that respect. So we'll see. Right. Exactly, man. We got to give him his props in that respect. But yeah, other than that, I felt dirty doing that. So I mean, if you want to kick me off the stream now, Nati, you can, because I felt dirty. I felt dirty saying that, but it's facts.
No, I mean that's definitely facts. Yeah. No, I think that's definitely facts. And I don't think we're the Washington football team, so no team can be taken lightly because we always have a letdown, but especially this week, Thanksgiving, we cannot take the Cowboys lightly. We're only a half game back from the division lead. We gotta step on their throats and really get us a dub tomorrow. But moving on from the game, though, I do want to talk about the overall divisional race. What do you guys make of it? Who do you guys think is the front runner to win it? I don't think there is any front runner, but do you guys have a likely maybe favorite to win the division? And do you think Washington has a legit chance of winning? What do you guys think in the NFC least?
You want me to start, Natty? Or
go ahead.
Cool? First off, this division is awful, putrid, trash, makes me want to throw up. It's disgusting. First off. Second of all, I don't think it's a front runner. It's a toss-up. And these 4 teams can win it. I think the Eagles will take a step back, though. Carson Wentz is looking off. Putrid. Oh, my gosh. So I think the Eagles, they might go from first to last. I think it can go like that. Whoever's second, third, it could flip every week because all these teams are trash. I hate saying that, but it's the truth. All of us are bad football teams. If I would pick a favorite, honestly, no bias, I think it's a toss-up between us and the Giants. We only have 2 tough games after this game. Two games that I expect us to truly lose, which is the Pittsburgh and Seattle game. I don't see no way we're winning those games. Unless Russell Wilson catch COVID, I don't wish that on nobody. Okay. Unless Brent Roethlisberger wants to take a week off and go chill with his wife and don't want to play football, that's the only way we're beating the Pittsburgh Steelers and the daggone Seattle Seahawks. Yeah, no way in hell. So other than that, I think we're gonna win. I think the other 4 games are winnable football games. Now, like Natty said, low expectations. Can't expect a darn thing from this team, but those games are much more winnable than those 2 games are. So, and then as for the Giants, Daniel Jones is playing a little bit better. Wayne Gallman and Alfred Morris, like they just 1-2 punch all of a sudden running the football. All of a sudden came out of nowhere. And their defense is solid. Unlike Dallas' defense that lets everyone score a bunch of points, and unlike Philly's team, whose quarterback has turned to an abomination. Don't know what's up with him. The Giants and Washington look like the most solid teams in this division. This division is trash, but that's the best I can give you. I can't give you more than that. Yeah. That's my opinion on the division, man. It's just awful.
Corey, what are your thoughts?
Okay, I'm gonna get dirty again. Dallas has the best path to win this division. They have the easiest schedule.
Yep.
They have the easiest schedule. There's no reason outside of playing us tomorrow, right, that they should not run the tables. They've got a declining Baltimore squad who's going to play them on 4 days rest on Thursday next week. They're at Cincinnati with Brandon Allen. Like, he's not even the good Allen in the NFL. I mean, Jonathan Allen's probably a better quarterback than he is right now. But, and then you've got a game that you could possibly win in New York also, because that was a close game too. So, and this is all dependent on if Andy Dalton stays healthy. It could come down to the end of the season. It could be Giants and Dallas playing for the division crown. I said this after we beat Dallas. We're not a good team because we're so talent deficient. They have heart. This team has heart, right? But heart doesn't always win you ball games.
Yeah.
Talent, it's a mix of heart and talent that'll win you ball games. So for that saying, I don't think we have that insight. And you look at our schedule, my gosh, it's probably the second worst next to Philadelphia's schedule, because they're playing like everybody. Like somebody just said, get the Vaseline for Philadelphia over these next 3 weeks. Was it Seattle? I think they've got who else do they have? Yeah, the Saints. I mean, that's a murder schedule right there, man. I can't. And I don't trust Wentz anymore. I told Tony and Juan Gotti this, and they jumped all over me. Dak Prescott is the best quarterback in this division. He always has been. He always will be.
Yeah,
right. There you go. I had to put
Always
that
right.
in there. So I told y'all that, and y'all lit me up for that one.
You are
Hey, man.
He's the best.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, I say he is. But no, in all seriousness now, there's no excuse for Dallas not to win this division because of their strength of schedule. It'll be all on them if they can't win this division. I don't want that to happen. I want us to do it if we can, but I'm not going to be upset if we don't, because it's just asking, like, you got so many holes on this team. What do you think you're going to fix first? And that'll put us behind in the draft if we can't trade everything for Deshaun Watson, right?
Yeah.
All right, so I definitely agree with Corey as far as like with the Cowboys schedule, it's theirs to lose. They have to lose this division basically. Yeah, I mean their rest of the schedule is definitely favorable. But at the same time, if I had to pick one, because again, like Protech said, I mean it's terrible. I wouldn't bet my life savings on any of these teams. It's just too wide open. But if I had to put my money on a team, I'd say the Giants, because if I'm going off of a snapshot from the last time any of our teams played, us against the Bengals beating Ryan Finley, the Cowboys barely beating Kirk Cousins, and then the Giants, the way they beat the Eagles, I think the Giants look like the best team in the division as of right now. But again, like Corey said, the Cowboys' schedule is more favorable. So it's between those two to me. I think the Eagles are done. I think the Eagles, Carson Wentz is just too far removed from good football. And then they're only getting more and more hurt as they go along. And then, again, I personally feel like we wouldn't have beat the Bengals if Ryan Finley weren't in the game. So I don't think we're as good as we probably looked against the Bengals. So, yeah, I'm leaning towards the Giants mostly. But I agree that it's really the Cowboys' division to lose with their schedule.
Yeah. I personally think that the Giants, like right now, the Giants are probably the best team in the division. But because of what you just said, Rico, with the schedule playing to the Cowboys' favor and the schedule not playing to the Giants' favor, and especially not to the Eagles' favor, I think it's going to come down to what Hassan's saying right now. We need a win tomorrow. I think the winner of tomorrow's game will actually end up winning the division with just how things are playing out with the schedule. And I think Washington and the Cowboys actually have two pretty favorable schedules and probably the two most favorable schedules in the division. So I think that ultimately determines who wins this sorry division, as Tony so eloquently describes, right? This trash division and stuff. And I don't know. I still don't know if I want to win this division because of the fact that we need to get a quarterback high in the draft. And if we're not getting someone like Trevor Lawrence, which I think is just out of the picture at this point, maybe getting someone like a Zach Wilson could really change the fortunes of this organization once and for all. But or even Justin Fields, even though I'm more of a Zach Wilson guy. I know it's saying a lot, right? But I think, I don't know if I want to win the division, but I think it ultimately end up being determined tomorrow on Thanksgiving while we're all stuffing our faces with good food and we're all watching our team hopefully not let us down once again. And I see Pedro.
Pedro in the building. Hey, Natty, I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm not eating a single ounce of food until at least halftime, bro. I can't, bro. I can't. I'm gonna go crazy, bro. I'm gonna eat. I'm gonna throw my players on my bro. I can't do it, bro.
It's tough too because like I usually don't actually eat like during the games until halftime too, like you do. But I don't know. It's Thanksgiving. It's like,
bro,
like what can you do?
Bro, I cannot, bro. I'm gonna get mad. I'm gonna throw my food at somebody. My roommates better not be home tomorrow. I'm like, bro, why you really me? We getting whooped. I don't want to talk. I'm going to the room. I don't want to talk. I'm just grab this ball, Henny. Leave me alone. Bye. I'm just throw in a corner and just cry.
Yeah. I do have 2 more questions left. I only had 1 left, but Extra Squaw actually has a really good question that I want to bring up for you guys. What are your thoughts about, Jonathan Allen being let go because Tim Settle's been stepping up the last few weeks? Do you think we should still extend Allen and maybe just keep Settle, in case we want to let Payne go down the line or even Ioannidis? What do you guys think? And do you think we should just keep drafting defensive linemen? I mean, I personally am against that notion, but what do you guys think? And we'll start with Corey this time.
This is gonna hurt me because I'm a big John Allen fan.
Mm-hmm.
But his words hit harder than he actually does on that defensive line. I want a guy that can get after the running back, right? That's what you're supposed to do in the 4-3 and maybe get a sack here every once in a while. We can say we can attribute to him getting pancaked into Joe Burrow for that injury. So maybe he did his job in that respect. But he hasn't done anything of merit in a while. And their Payne is wishy-washy at times. He is. Sometimes he's like, oh, that's the Payne I know coming through the line. And then other times he's like a tango dancer. Like I don't know what we're going to get out of these two guys. They are, it's kind of like when you buy a TV at Best Buy, right? And you get the name brand right. Right now, these guys are Sharp name brand from Alabama or Samsung, right? But the Sharp TV down there at little Virginia Tech is dominating both of these guys coming out there. Anything Tim Settle does, he's got the Midas touch. Anything he does, he touches, it's gold, right? He's getting sacks. He's getting stops. He's aggressive. You know what? He didn't learn that at Alabama, right? He played that little old VPI. So I really do going back to that question though. I could see John Allen walking maybe after next season because he's got that extra year, but them not reing up the contract. And then you do technically have another year, 2 years with Deron Payne, but that's if you want to do the option for him again. So, I think you need to be worried about getting Tim Settle locked up before you lock up these other guys, though. I think it might be time to pay the piper on that respect.
Okay. Fair points. Yeah. I'm going to let you guys, Tony and Rico, go ahead.
I'll let Rico go ahead first.
Okay, so I agree with everything Corey said. I love Jonathan Allen, locker room presence, his leadership, but at the end of the day, what he says, wait, what happened? Payne's impact isn't. Okay, it's shown in the stat sheet. That's a good point. But I thought I was muted or something. What's it called? Jonathan Allen, he says more impactful than what he does. And it's hard, like when just because of cap space situations, he may be the odd man out. We spoke about this last time we were on your stream, DMV Sports. It was like if you had to pick somebody. And the thing is like, would you prefer to pay Jonathan Allen $10 million a year or Tim Settle $5 million a year type of thing? And that's why I feel like Jonathan Allen may end up being the odd man out if he's not willing to take less money than what he probably feels like he deserves. But one thing to note is, like, with Corey, good point, that he may at least play next year. So that may be the best year we get out of him at the very least next year. That's going to be technically his contract year. So I'm interested in seeing how that goes. But yeah, Tim Settle has stepped up big time. It seems like he's kind of like the Matt Ioannidis effect. Doesn't play often. When he does, he makes the most out of it. And you're just very interested in seeing what he would do with the heavy load of reps. So yeah, I agree with everything Corey said basically.
Yeah. Before Tony goes, I do want to ask though, do you think we should possibly look into maybe trading Allen if we're not going to keep him long term and sort of get value back? I don't know, Tony, if you have an opinion on that.
I mean, it does hurt logically. I was just gonna say it hurts logic. I mean, it hurts to trade away somebody that we're so attached to, drafted, developed here. But logically, you do want to get ahead of somebody. It's better to trade them for a 7th round pick than to release them for nothing, technically. But you do want to see what hopefully we can work a contract out.
Okay.
My opinion on Jonathan Allen situation is I'll trim out of this season. I'll start calling teams. I'll move them.
Okay.
You're on the last year. You're on the 5th-year option next year. I'm not about to sit here and watch you play another season, and you'll probably walk for nothing. Just like the Ryan Kerrigan situation this year. I was telling people, trade Ryan Kerrigan. They didn't do that. He's going to walk. He's not playing ever down his uniform. So why would you keep him? And you think that Tim Settle is a solid starter for you, why would you keep Jonathan Allen around for another season for? Why? Get something for him now. Move on.
Mm-hmm.
Do it now. Like, don't waste time. Like, that's why the Patriots were so good for so long. They moved players before it was actually time to really move them to get the maximum value they could get for them. Jonathan Allen, like you said, his impact in the locker room is more on the field. The man got with 42 combined tackles, 17 assisted, and two sacks. What's that going to do for me? Nothing. Tixon got 4 sacks off the bench. I get Matt Ioannidis back next year too, bro. Bye. That's it. Let's go and get something for you. Not gonna pay you anyway. Let's go ahead and do that. Like the Forrest Buckner. We ain't gonna pay you. Let's get something for you now, so we don't have to worry about paying you later. And another thing to point out with the defensive line, like you can always rip on another. You got Tim Settle in the 5th round. Kyle Smith is good at getting guys later in the draft. That could be a depth piece for you. You can move Jonathan Allen. You can start Tim Settle. Start Matt Ioannidis coming from the biceps injury. You still got Young and Sweat. I think Kerrigan's gone as well, but you can always rip on the defensive lineman via free agency in the draft, and you can go about your life. Jonathan Allen, I love Jonathan Allen. I'm a big John Allen guy, but it's just time. Like, it's time for us to stop doing this. We did this with Kirk. We didn't move Kirk when we had a chance. We do this Ryan Kerrigan right now. He's good as gone. We gotta stop doing this, man. It's ridiculous. Sheesh. Sorry.
No. I absolutely. That's probably the best. Like some of the best points you made on the stream. Like Tony, like I emphatically agree with you. I do think we should look for a trade with Allen, and maybe even look as soon as his offseason and sort of trade him right before his contract year, and maybe give teams at least a full year before he does sign that mega contract that he at least is looking for. I do want to say though, I know Corey knows this, especially like I was of the mindset earlier that the old guys sort of like in this sort of defensive tackle group is at a disadvantage, and that guy is Matt Ioannidis, of course, because of the fact that we're trying to go young and stuff. But we've seen Ioannidis' impacts like when he's not on the field, and how big of an impact he has when he's on the field this season. And I think Matt Ioannidis is definitely someone we need to keep for the long run, even with him getting up there in age. But Jonathan Allen, like you guys said, hasn't really lived up to his first round billing. And I know he has all the leadership traits that you want out of a defensive player. I get that. He is a captain for a reason. He is from the area. He has that going for him as well. But I just think he is sort of the odd man out at this point. And I think Payne even has given us greater production, greater impact this year. But I do want to say as a cop-out, to just wait until the end of the season. And if Allen doesn't really step up, Then we'll talk about trade.
And now I want to point this out about John Allen real quick. So if you look at his career, right? 2017 didn't play much. His best year is his second season. His production
8
is
sacks, right?
declining every single season. And the thing that's funny is the talent is better around him now, but it wasn't 2018. He had 8 sacks in 2018. And the talent is better around him. You expect him to eat, right? He's not eating. Somebody's gonna get any better. Move him. I hate saying it. I love John Allen, but it's just he's not productive enough. And I'm sick and tired of it. I'm sick of it.
Go ahead.
And to Tony's point, this is where I have a problem with Pro Football Focus. They've got Jonathan Allen ranked as the 15th interior defensive lineman.
Madden has him rated as like a 87, I think, or something like that.
Right. So like what are we missing if they reign it? If Pro Football Focus, and they've got Payne over here. I'm looking at it right now. I'm gonna call in for a refund on this, but they've got Payne ranked the 50th interior defensive lineman. So at 50. So I don't know. I don't know where the disconnect is, what they're seeing. But John Allen, man, I think he's been a disappointment. I don't know if we could chalk it up to this right here. This is his first time being a 43 defensive tackle in the NFL, right? Different assignments, man. So I don't know what we can get out of him, but like Tony said, you need to trade your capital if you got it, because somebody might want him.
What do you think Allen's worth, though, Corey?
See, I don't know. That's what I'm thinking. People are saying 3, 4. Washington's notoriously famous for getting duped. I think we're some of the worst poker players there are in the NFL. So we'll probably get a 6th or a 7th or a 2000, a 2026 8th round pick when they institute an extra round. So
2026.
Right.
I think Jonathan Allen's trade value is probably about a 3rd and a 6th. 3rd round pick during that current year's draft, and like a 6th round pick the next year's draft, whatever that next year is. I don't think we're gonna get that for him because, like Corey said, we get duped all the damn time. We gave rate trip ones free. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We don't trade players, and when we do, we don't get nothing for them. And we trade too much for players, i.e., Clinton Dixon. That went. Yeah, it wasn't funny.
I don't know.
But I think the most we get out. I think the most we get out. Most we get out of a trade for John Allen. What up, Juan Gotti? My man was good, bro. But probably a 4th and a 5th. A 4th this year and a 5th next year. I don't see more than that.
Okay.
I hate saying it.
What do you think, Rico?
Yeah. I think Pedro had a good point in the comments. Said, try to get at least what we would get back for him for a comp pick. Because we could get a fairly decent comp pick depending on what he signs for with another team, and we'll see. But yeah, we should definitely go at minimum, if we can, something slightly higher than that comp pick. But I don't, for what he's worth, I have no idea. I really do. And it's really difficult to gauge because, like y'all said, he may be worth something, but the way our relationships with other franchises, we always get less back than what other teams will get back for the same player. So I don't know. But it's a dark situation. It's crazy to think about it. Just looking back from when we first got him, decided where to get him in the draft, where we got him, only because of the Arthur Rice rumor. Something he should have gone top 10 at least. So. It's crazy how we've gotten here. Just thinking back on, from the start of getting drafted to where we are now, the fact that he may be the odd man out is crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. He's sort of, we invested a 1st round pick in Jonathan Allen, and we're talking about getting a 3rd at best, maybe even lower than that pick back, if anything. It's just crazy to see how things have turned out. His first couple of years, he was pretty good, minus his injury-riddled years. So hopefully he steps up the second half of the season. Don't know if that's likely, but again, we'll definitely know more about his standing with the team as we go on in the season. Oh, go ahead, Corey.
Hey, just one thing. Y'all remember, he was considered a steal of the draft too because he had those injuries coming out of Alabama.
Yeah.
So that I mean that stings even more, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I agree with that. These things are tough.
I do want to end on the quarterback conversation once again, but more so looking towards the draft. I was just wondering, one, what do you guys think are our biggest needs at this point? And two, are there any quarterbacks? I know Trevor Lawrence is going to be brought up into this, but any quarterbacks that you want most definitely in this draft and would love to see in the burgundy and gold? And we'll start with Rico this time.
We go.
Is it for me?
Yeah. You first, bro.
Okay, it lagged, so I was like, wait, who did he say? I was hoping it wasn't me. I lagged at the end. And then once I noticed it was quiet, I'm like, okay, it must be me then. I'm definitely big on the draft. I feel like our biggest needs are easily free safety, quarterback. Another receiver will be great. We start to see what we have in Cam Sims. We have the rest of the season to see, but it would be nice to get another electric receiver. But I feel like you can address receiver third round, maybe third, fourth, maybe second, and get a really good guy. This is a very deep tackle class, so if we need to, I love Morgan on the right. I think Cornelius Lucas, when healthy, is great on the left. But if we need to, you can get actually a really good tackle in this round this previous draft. But yeah, I think I'm definitely a quarterback in the first round type of guy. Trade up even if you have to. I think Justin Fields is going to be great in my opinion. I know Ohio State quarterbacks have a certain stigma, but he's different. I think we've Justin Herbert, Oregon quarterbacks have it even worse as far as transitioning from college to NFL. We've seen Justin Herbert be great. I definitely think if Justin Herbert can be great, Justin Fields can be great. Again, the Oregon system doesn't prepare you for the NFL at all. It's even worse than the Ohio State system. And if Justin Herbert can break that mold, I think Justin Fields can break the mold at Ohio State. Trevor Lawrence is out of the question, but as far as realistic goes, because the Jets and more likely, the Jaguars really kick the onside kick in the first quarter. They don't want to win. So they're taking Justin Fields. So it's between Trey Lance and Zach Wilson. I feel like Zach Wilson is better day one easily. It's not. I don't even think it's close between him and Trey Lance. But I do feel like he has higher. So maybe if you take a Trey Lance, you probably have to start Alex Smith or like DMV Sports Zone said that maybe you start in like a Ryan Fitzpatrick situation and bring in Tua, or in our case Trey Lance week after the bye week or right before the bye week, or you let him sit the entire year like a Pat Mahomes did behind Alex Smith, who we have. So I can see that scenario. I feel like if you draft Zach Wilson, he's ready to play week one, probably more than likely. He may look a little iffy in the beginning, maybe like preseason stuff like that, but I think he's more ready to go week one. So it's up to you. Do you prefer the ceiling, or do you prefer the down guaranteed bowler? I mean, Zach Wilson just looks like one of those guys. The same way people talked about Baker Mayfield, where he just has this it factor, like Deshaun Watson. You just want to rally behind him. You feel believe on that guy. That's a Zach Wilson. He's great off schedule and everything. So yeah, it's between Zach Wilson and Trey Lance. It's whether or not you're ceiling or right now. Again, I think Trey Lance, if we look back 3 years from now, being better than Wilson, but it's going to probably take time. And are we patient enough? Like Corey said, this fan base isn't a very patient fan base. But Ron Rivera showed that with Cam Newton, he was willing to be patient with him. And I mean, Cam Newton did start off really good, and really until that 15-1 year, he just finally broke out. But I feel like a lot of it's also going to be on Scott Turner's plate too. It's not just the quarterback. What can Scott Turner do? Can he design an offense around that guy? I feel like his current offense fits Trey Lance better than probably anybody out of the quarterbacks. So we'll see. It's really up to the fit. And Zach Wilson. I think Zach Wilson's the safest between him and Lance easily.
Okay. Sorry, I'm lagging a bit, but let's go with Corey. What do you think about our needs, and do you have a preferred quarterback in this draft?
Well, it's kind of defining, right? Do you want money or do you want power? Because power is kind of like Frank Underwood used to say, right? Yeah. Power is that stone castle that stands for ages. Or do you want money? Do you just want to sell seats for a season? I think with Zach Wilson, if he puts on the weight, remember, Tony, I said that right. I said he needs to put on about 10 to 15 pounds. I think he could do it because it's about time. Some decent quarterbacks come from like weird schools like BYU, right? I like Zach Wilson. I like what he can do. The teams that he's played makes me worried. But I'm secretly low-key having a love obsession with Justin Fields, and I feel dirty about it. I think if he gets the right teaching with Scott Turner and Zampese, because these guys have been doing it before. I mean, Zampese helped make Andy Dalton a functional quarterback, right? So I like Justin Fields too, man. Trey Lance, I think he's more smoke and mirrors more than anything, because we saw what we got out of North Dakota State with Carson Wentz. So I don't know, the zero touchdown, zero interceptions kind of sounds crazy to me. Like it just makes me seem like that's more of something in the system, because even the great quarterbacks find a way to turn the ball over. So if I had to pick, I like Justin Fields, but I would be okay with Zach Wilson. Those would be one, two, if I could get them. If Penei Sewell isn't there in the first round, I'd take Justin Fields. So
yeah, I do want to say though, I kind of agree with what Jordan from Redskins Today tweeted out earlier today, in that getting a franchise sort of quarterback, in the first round, drafting him is more important than drafting like a franchise left tackle, and especially when we have an offensive line that isn't like absolutely atrocious, right? That a young quarterback can still work with. I sort of am of the mindset that we should go after a young quarterback. And I, as you guys know by now, am a big Zach Wilson fan. And I think he just has not just the it factor, but the arm strength, the arm talent to do really well in this league. And I know he's not playing against great teams, great quarterbacks, but great teams especially. And I get that. I really do. But he just makes the eye-popping throws that you want to see out of a quarterback. And I like Justin Fields a lot too. I don't know. I feel like they're both at the same level at this point. I think Zach Wilson has actually ascended to that point for me, where he's at that level. But yeah, I know there's a lot of Trey Lance love as well. I don't know. It's going to be tough. I think in terms of needs, though, tight end. We need to fix that position. Okay. We really do. Logan Thomas, he's not it. He's shown me enough. He's not it. I'm sorry, Corey. I know that's your guy, right?
Oh, come on now, man. Even I know he ain't that. I know that. I love
it. Not your guy because of his production, but your guy because of the hokey connection and stuff.
Yeah.
But no, he's a tight end too at best. We need to get a young tight end in to help out a young quarterback, because for a young quarterback, the biggest help for that quarterback is young security blanket across the field, and tight ends are usually what those players are. So hopefully, if you can draft a young tight end, maybe in the second round, because we'll probably have to draft a quarterback in the first round, that would be a great thing to do. And I think addressing the linebacker position as well. What?
Sorry to cut you off just real quick. Just to stay on the tight end part. It may be wishful thinking, but if you can include Jonathan Allen in the trade package to trade up into the first round, maybe our second and a first, to get a Kyle Pitts, because I think Kyle Pitts is going to be truly special. I love him. I'm a Georgia Bulldog. I'm not a big fan of Florida guys, but Kyle Pitts is going to be amazing. I think Kyle Pitts is also going to be pretty good too. Quarterback out of the round as far as his value goes, but I think Kyle Pitts is going to be special. I think he's just going to be one of those generational guys, and whoever gets him is going to be very happy for the next 10 years. And if we can include Jonathan Allen in a package, whatever it takes to end up trading up to get a Kyle Pitts after we get our quarterback, and then we bring them in with the quarterback and the tight end together to learn with each other at the same time, gain the chemistry from the start. That would be a win for me. I wouldn't even, and you already know Kyle Smith does really well in the late rounds with the fifth picks. I feel like that's a great draft just to start it off, and then we'll find gems later.
I only worry about any tight end, even someone of the caliber of Fitz, is that young tight ends are notorious for like struggling in their first year. We saw one of those can't miss prospects in Tyler Hawkinson not really do much at all in his rookie year.
OJ
now he's Exactly.
Yeah. We thought, a lot of draft people were saying he was the next Gronk. Like, it was like, you can't miss. He's a great run blocker, great in the passing game, can't miss. So, that's a great point.
Yeah.
Hey,
But-
not to, and to the point, to go back to the quarterback position, for everybody wanting to draft a quarterback in the first round, remember this Cincinnati game and why your trenches are important. That's all I'm saying. If it is important to have a franchise quarterback. If we learn nothing from Joe Burrow, if we learn nothing from RG3's issues as well, you got to invest in that line, whether that's in the first round or in the second round. You've got to get those guys to protect them because, like I said, what's a president without the Secret Service? He's just a dead man walking in a suit, pretty much.
Yeah, and I think
I agree, but I think
Go ahead.
Bengals are a lot worse though, and I feel like we can go at Joe Thuney because I mean even Protech just said that the Patriots move on from their players before they ask for huge contracts, and they'll just find a replacement. I think they'll let Joe Thuney go. I think we can snatch him up, possibly pay him market setting money if we have to. Start him at left guard. I think Cornelius Lucas is solid at left tackle. I like Chase Roulier at center. Brandon Sheriff, when healthy, is a really good right guard, and I love Morgan Moses at right tackle. I think we can be straight. And then even after that, I still think we should draft the offensive tackle maybe second or third round, just talent wise. We still have to see what Sadiq Charles can bring if he can get healthy. I definitely agree that the trenches matter, but I'm the same as that. But I feel like offensive line isn't as bad as a lot of people think, and that's why I think we can go quarterback first round. That's
fair. That's fair. That's fair. Yeah.
Tony, you got thoughts? Sorry.
Yeah, my opinion on team needs is number one. I completely agree. With everyone said tight end, free safety, even wide receiver to a certain extent. I think we need that second dog besides Terry. Like that one guy who can win at all times besides Terry McLaurin on huge down distances. Also, like y'all said, offensive line can use a little retooling. It's not the best in the world. It's not horrible. It's not awful, but it's a little below average. You can use another really solid starter on the line to really solidify it, make it above average. I think above average line, I think a rookie quarterback be fine. Like I said, I agree with Natty. I'm a Zach Wilson guy. That's my guy. As I saw that man play, I said, that's the man right there. There we go. That's it. I want him. That's it. Let's go. Go get him. I do like Justin Fields too. I like Justin Fields. He had to grow on me a little bit. I like Ohio State, man. Everybody lights it up. Dwayne lit it up. Who's on the side about Dwayne? Like, we saw this guy. JT Barrett. All these dudes lit up at Ohio State. All these dudes. They're given. Most of them were Urban Meyer guys, and this is the head coach now. So I was like, okay, I watched a little bit of Justin Fields. Like, okay, I like Justin Fields. He's cool. If we can't get Fields, I'll take Zach Wilson all day long as my guy. Simply put. I like the Kyle Pitts I did too. Like taking 2-2s and Jonathan Allen. Hey, look, take these 2-2s. Like we did with Montez Sweat in 2019. Like, hey, look,
exactly
2-2s, Indianapolis. We want to get to 26. Y'all like our first round picks anyway. So that we're gonna go first round, go get Montez, give you these 2-2s, and you go about your day. Okay. Maybe if Kyle Pitts like a top 15 pick, I'm trying to take more than 2-2s, but I'm gonna give you 2-2s, a 3, Jonathan Allen, and a 1-2 years from now. You want that? You cool with that? All right. Let me go get my franchise tight end. Thank you. Whatever it takes, we need to get more cornerstones on this franchise. I think we're gonna have like 4 or 5, and most good teams have 6 or 7, and we need a couple more. So, I said offensive line, left guard, left tackle, whatever. I think Cornelius Lucas has been solid, rock solid. When healthy, he's been rock solid at left tackle. So I might worry about left tackle. Maybe want to upgrade the left guard position. Joe Thuney, I love that. I love that idea too, Rico. Inside linebacker is a problem.
Yeah.
If we can't get Al Pitts, I'm a big Penn State guy. Michael is a dog. If it ain't Kyle Pitts we trading up for, I need him. One of them two. I need one of them two because that man's a dog. Goodness great. He'll change the whole linebacking room. I swear he would. Like himself would change the whole dynamics of that defense. Because our linebacking crew is trash. KPO can't cover. John Bostic is awful. Cole Hogan's a dog. I like Cole Hogan. Cole Holcomb needs a little bit working coverage. So I think Michael Parsons would be a perfect fit here too. And as for free safety, I'll go to free agent. I'm not drafting. You got Justin Simmons probably on the market. Anthony Harris will be on the market, I think, more than likely. And I tell you two again. Go get one of them. You got the money, pay him.
See, the problem though with that mentality is that we already have 14 million, 15 million a year tied up with Landon Collins. Do we want to sign another safety to another mega contract and then potentially see that contract not work out in the long term? I don't know if I want to do that.
I like Landon though. Free safeties don't cost as much as box safety. They're a little cheaper. And another thing is Simmons and Harris are versatile. They can go they can do a little box here and there, but they cover way better than Landon would ever will. So I think it'll work out. They play Justin Simmons play at an elite level for like a hot little second. So I like either one of them too. And if it costs you top dollar, it is what it is. So coming to free agency, you overpay people. And I really think should move Landon Collins a linebacker anyway. I've been saying that. I'm gonna keep harping this until this team do it, because he's not gonna be the same as safety anymore. He's not. Achilles tear, he's gonna lose a step. He can't cover anyway. I'd rather him cover tight ends and covering receivers. That's just asking for trouble. So that's my opinion on the whole Landon Collins thing too.
Okay. I do want to make sure you guys have a good, enjoyable night. Before Thanksgiving tomorrow. So we'll probably end the stream there. Thank you guys so much for joining the stream. As always, it went a little bit over, but you guys still joined and still stayed on for the duration of it. So I appreciate it as always, boys. And hope you guys have a great Thanksgiving. Stay safe. Hopefully you guys get some good time with family, good eating tomorrow, and hopefully we get a W tomorrow. Fingers crossed. But thank you guys, everyone in the chat as well who joined and commented. I see everyone: Outlaw King, Brandon Williams, Kevin Harvick fan, to Josby, Patrick West. Thank you guys, Extra Squad, everybody for joining as always. And another great Washington Football Weekly stream, and on to tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
Hey, yes, sir.
Thanks for having me on,
bro.
Yeah, thank you. Now
I got my wife too, so I kind of.
for sure. All right, peace, guys.
Thank you. And I always learn something on here, man. Thank you.
Thank you.
Always. Yeah, agreed. All right,